Welcome back, everyone, to yet another episode of the Between the Hashes podcast here on the 515 Podcast Network. As always, joined by Braden Bank and Brock Bierman and myself, Dawson Livingston. Took last week off to celebrate the holidays, kind of gives ourselves a break. But we got to watch a lot of good football. We're still in the middle of bowl season right now for college. Week 18 is around the corner in the NFL, so we're that much closer to the playoffs. Exciting time if you're a football fan, but also kind of a sad time as this time of the year we realize that football is going to wrap up in the next month and a half. But as always, got to ask the fellas how they're doing to start every single episode. So, guys, how are we doing?
Could be a lot worse. I feel like that's my answer for pretty much every week. But Niners keep winning. Iowa State is losing dramatically for a team that has not played a game in a month. But that's not important right now. What matters is next week is going to determine the 1 seed for the NFC, and I am terrified for it.
Iowa State, I still have 4 years of eligibility since I guess NBA players can now come back to college. But yeah, Dawson, you were like, yeah, this is kind of a sad time because it means football is coming to an end. Some people are kind of ready for the season to be over. So from the standpoint of having to suffer and watch their teams play, because again, another week of the Cardinals kind of teasing that, maybe they'll pull this one out. And granted, I didn't want them to win, but it was a reverse anxiety where it was like, why is this close to start? I don't like this. I don't want to win this. And then it didn't even matter. It wasn't even close. But shout out Trey McBride for apparently having one of the most successful tight end seasons of all time that nobody will talk about. But yeah, I guess Brock Purdy has been able to keep my spirits up a little bit, and yeah.
Dawson, I think even you kind of want this season to be over with. You just have that phrase just kind of stuck in your head from all the past years of being happy about playoff football. Because first of all, you're not going to be in there. Second of all, do you really want another 4 weeks of Chris Aludican football?
He's been playing okay. He's been playing okay.
Bad. He wasn't terrible.
Honestly, yeah, I was expecting a lot worse on Christmas. The fact that they were in that game until 2 minutes ago, I was thoroughly shocked.
You guys are going to sign Jacoby Brissett. I honestly do not know if Jacoby Brissett, I would assume he's on a 1-year contract with Arizona. I with how your offense is right now, I know that Jacoby Brissett by no means will be able to evade if everybody just sends pressure. But he throws 40 to 50 times a game. If you need a quarterback to just sling it,
dude, if Kansas City, let's assume Mahomes misses the first quarter of the season at minimum, they want to be fun, an entertaining team to watch. Sign Jameis Winston. All the touchdowns, all the interceptions, just bring Jameis into town. All right, that would keep Kansas City somewhat entertaining the first few weeks next year, assuming Mahomes doesn't get back in time, which at this point I have no idea if that's going to happen.
Could bring back Ricky Stanzi, see if he still can throw the ball.
Yeah, dude, Ricky Stanzi's probably old, right? He was drafted a long time ago.
He's selling insurance, man.
Yeah, so just like every other retired college athlete that tried to go pro.
Yep.
But yeah, we didn't get to talk about last week's games, but the crazy Thursday night game was unbelievable. Rams Seahawks. That kind of I don't know how to explain it. That game still looms more in my mind of how fun that game was than the 3 Christmas Day stinkers that we got instead. Starting with Cowboys Commanders, just both teams out of the playoffs, both teams not really trying. And then Lions Vikings. Lions could have made the playoffs had they won out, but they unfortunately lose. And then Chiefs Broncos at the end of the night wasn't anything to write home about. But I want to get when it comes to Christmas Day games, I want to get your guys' thoughts on the Lions and the Chiefs specifically. It's the first time in NFL history that both 1 seeds from the previous year have missed the playoffs, I believe, is the stat I heard. So what are your guys' thoughts? I know we touch a lot about Kansas City, but maybe let's talk more about Detroit right now. What's the next move for Detroit?
I'm trying to figure out how to
I don't know if I want to say it because, like,
I think they need to pick me up.
is this a safe space? Am I gonna get flamed? I don't know if this is a hot take. I don't know. I'm not a fan of Jared Goff, but the problem
Yeah.
is I don't know who you can go to. Granted, he's only thrown 7 interceptions all year. That's not bad, but like I don't know. There's something about him that just annoys me playing football. Maybe there's games where he does really well, and I'm like, how? He's a good quarterback. I don't know, something about him. Maybe it's the fit. I don't know if he fits with what Detroit's trying to do anymore. I don't know. The last couple of games I've watched, I just don't feel like him nor the entire offense, I guess, has been really in sync with each other. Yeah, he has a couple good performances, but almost needed them and still lost by 1 possession against the Steelers and the Rams. But I don't know. There's something about this offense that is really annoying. Also, when did they stop caring about giving David Montgomery the ball inside the 5-yard line? It seems like all of a sudden they just flip the switch and they're like, no, we only care about giving Gibbs the ball. And I'm not trying to be an Iowa State homer or whatever, but that I guess the whole thing is the Detroit offense is a mess, which is so funny given who won the NFC North this year and who their head coach is, and the Chicago Bears. I don't know. Their offense is a mess. I still think that their defense has shown spurts of they're going to be competitive for years to come. Aiden Hutchinson has proved that even though he had that terrible injury early into his career, he's still going to be an all-pro, potential future defensive player of the year award winner. It's the offense for me. Something about it is just not the same as last year, which is funny because nothing much personnel-wise, star-wise, has changed.
Frank Ragnow.
That
the offensive line as a whole has tanked this season.
Yep.
And that, I mean, if I've said it once, I've said it a million times. You win games through the trenches, and their offensive line is horrible now. And that's why Jared Goff is suffering, because he's in a very rare mold of quarterback nowadays where he is not mobile. He's not going to be able to make plays really much outside of the pocket. He needs a good offensive line to be able to give him time to make these reads, make these throws. He's not getting that right now.
Mm-hmm.
David Montgomery, as good as he is at breaking tackles, he doesn't have the if he's getting swallowed. Well, hold on. If the defense is getting to him before he can get anything downfield, he needs at least a chance to be able to break something off. He's not going to just outrun the entire defense like Jahmyr Gibbs has the potential to.
And I'll backtrack a little bit on what I said about Jared Goff. He is third in the league for passing yards, at a little over 4,200 passing yards this season. But I guess you mentioned the offensive line. That may be actually what I should be more worried about, or pushing on what's been so bad about Detroit. I don't know. This Detroit team, Jared Goff play, I guess. The Jared Goff play this year has just, it's felt like, honestly, Stafford-esque in terms of he's putting up the numbers. There's just, the results aren't there when he was playing in Detroit and Matthew Stafford. So I don't know. I guess I shouldn't be overreacting on Jared Goff not leading his team to these wins or whatever, because the offensive line has really, really struggled. But I don't know. You got a lot of players that a lot of teams would take in your skill positions, and it's just the fact that you're sitting here at 8-8 is just kind of disappointing.
I'm going to read through Detroit's wins this year. All right, I'm going to start from the beginning of the season to where we're at right now. They beat Chicago 52-21 in week 2. Chicago has since won the division, so I would say that's an impressive win. They beat Baltimore, another impressive win. Baltimore, at that point in the season, Lamar was still playing before Baltimore went on that little slump that they had. And then they played Cleveland, They played Cincinnati and won. They beat Tampa Bay, which at the time Tampa Bay was just, we thought Tampa Bay, they were all in our top 5 power rankings, I think, that week. I think I may even have number 1.
I've never been so sad in my life to see a team have a downfall.
They beat Washington 44 to 22, excuse me. They beat the Giants by 7 points, and then they beat the Cowboys. Other than those first 2 teams I mentioned, are any of those 6 other teams, are those world beaters by any means? No. You're talking about Cleveland, who's going to be picking in the top 5 of the draft. Cincinnati, who couldn't figure out anything until Burrow started to finally give him hope, and then eventually couldn't really muster anything at the end of the year. Washington has been, I wouldn't say they're the biggest disappointment in the NFL, because Daniels being out certainly hurts them having.
See, I think you make Detroit the biggest disappointment.
But this just feels like a team that knows how to like bully the bad teams, but as soon as they go up against good teams, they fall on their face. Yeah. I mean, they lost to the Packers, who are going to be in the playoffs. I won't talk about the Chiefs game because the Chiefs have imploded since then. But they lost twice to the Vikings this year. The Vikings, we all think, are not like a great team with McCarthy under the helm. Lost to the Rams, got swept by the Packers, lost to the Eagles, lost to the Steelers, and lost to the Vikings, obviously, on Christmas Day. This just was not a very good team, and Braden mentioned it. Offensive line is still hurting, but I'm more of in the same camp as Brock, where it's like, God, Jared Goff's got to either go or they got to change something at the helm for quarterback. I don't think that Goff's a terrible quarterback, but tell me if you've heard this before. A team that consistently is in the hunt and then eventually is just like, we're tired of mediocre quarterback play or maybe slightly above average quarterback play. So they go up, trade up and get their guy in the draft. Tell me if you've heard that before. I think Detroit needs to be looking for quarterback in the not saying this draft, but next draft. Because I don't know if Goff is your answer long term. I think we've seen the ceiling for Jared Goff, if that makes sense.
I mean, the ceiling was going to a Super Bowl 51. So
I mean, their ceiling was they were up 17 points in the conference title game against the Niners, and then they self-imploded. And then last year, number 1 overall seed, and their season ends on a Jameson Williams pick.
I
don't know.
The first game of the year, I vividly remember watching that Green Bay game. 27-13 was the final score. And I thought, holy crap. This Lions team is not the same Lions team as last year. And then the following week, they won 52-21 against now the NFC North champs, Chicago Bears. They fooled everybody the first, 6 weeks of the season? It's crazy. Like, I know you mentioned Washington being the biggest disappointment, maybe the biggest disappointment this season, but I think
I won't say Washington just on the fact that Daniels was hurt like 80% of the year.
And that's why I think it's Detroit. I almost think it's far and away in terms of what every other team that you would consider a disappointing season has went through. Detroit's probably had the least amount of like. See, I don't want to say that though, because they haven't necessarily been the healthiest team in the league either. But like everybody that's struggled this year has lost a key player at some point. It seems like at least the teams that we thought that would be contending for Super Bowls. And Detroit, I feel like, is the one that hasn't suffered the most, but yet still hasn't performed well either. And that's why I almost feel like they're the biggest disappointment this season in terms of looking at the teams that were contenders heading into this season.
Yeah, I mean, their season ended with Jared Goff having 5 turnovers himself. 2 interceptions, 3 fumbles. Like, granted, I like what Brian Flores does up in Minnesota. I think he's got the Vikings playing really hard right now, despite quarterback play, which, I don't know if we want to talk Max Brosmer and his stat line today or on Christmas Day, but put up an absolute stinker and they still ended up winning. But you can't have 5 turnovers in a must-win game. Like, your season's still, like, you could still make the playoffs. Not saying you're really going to do much as a 7 seed, having to probably play either Chicago or is it Philly, which is the potential 2 seeds this week. But they just fell flat on their face. And it's shocking. It's shocking to say the least, because I think, did any of us have Detroit in the Super Bowl in our preseason?
No,
I had Green Bay.
Mhm.
I'm not sharing
I-
mine.
Brock, mine's cooked too, dude.
No,
Kansas
I'm not
City, Green
sharing
Bay.
mine because I'm worried if I put it back in the universe that it's going to bite me in the butt. One of my teams is not out, not going to be in the playoffs. That's all I will say.
Is it because they're already eliminated, or?
Yeah, they're eliminated.
Oh, okay. I'm trying. Oh,
And it's not the Cardinals.
I had Packers Bills.
okay, so Braden's still
So,
alive.
I'm very
I'm still
superstitious
kind of alive.
right now. I'm being
Okay.
very superstitious.
Yeah. Other than that, for the Christmas Day games, I don't really have anything else to comment on unless you guys feel like we're missing something.
The halftime show in the Minnesota game was unbelievable. I don't care what people say. I enjoyed it. Both Thanksgiving, the Post Malone halftime show on Thanksgiving, and then the Snoop Dogg, K-pop
Yeah.
Demon Hunters, Lainey Wilson, and then the two people I can't remember their names. Like, this year, in terms of like adding up all of the halftime shows that I've seen, counting the Super Bowl, this may have been the best year ever in terms of like just halftime shows that I've seen. It's been great. That's the only thing. That's the only thing that I took away from the Christmas Day games.
Braden, anything else to add when it comes to Christmas Day games?
No, honestly, they gave us a good excuse to spend some time with our family. So,
Yeah. This
do
is
with
the
it what
first
you
time
will.
in the last few years where I think I watched more NBA games Christmas Day than I did NFL games.
There were some good NBA games too.
Yeah, I mean, shout out the Cavs for absolutely falling on their face in the Knicks game. That was awesome.
I wasn't wrong though saying that there was a chance that they could win. They just blew
Yeah,
it.
well,
I just forgot that they blow games for some reason.
yeah, they just like to do that. They have some demons against the Knicks, and I don't know what's going on with that.
You guys just need to trade for Trae Young.
Don't even stop speaking absolute nonsense in this earth. But we'll leave that and the Christmas Day basketball games for next episode of Hardwood Convos. Did have 2 Saturday games, which is pretty unusual. Usually don't get those till about this time of the year. But we had Texans versus Chargers, Packers versus Ravens. Texans come out on top 20-16. Keep their season alive. I think they still are alive for the division. Am I wrong? Or did Jacksonville already clinch that up?
No, I think they are still in play for it.
I think Jacksonville would need to lose this upcoming Sunday, and Houston obviously would need to win, if I'm not mistaken. And then the second game, Ravens defeat the Packers 41-24, keep their playoff hopes alive. And due to some games on Sunday, are fighting for the division. I think that's Sunday Night Football this week, which would be fantastic way to close off the season with Ravens Steelers. But I want to first get your guys' thoughts on the Texans versus the Chargers in that game. Houston is one of the hotter teams in the NFL right now. I think they're winners of
I
8
called
in a
that
row.
a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, Brock's been on the Texans bandwagon before me and Braden hopped on.
They're so ugly to watch. They're not fun to watch. They will have 2 explosive plays, and they did early in the game, and then they just kind of sit there and put it in cruise control for some reason. Okay, let me rephrase that. Their offense is hard to watch. I do love watching their defense play. Their defense has been one of the best units in football this season.
Their defense has been unreal. Will Anderson and Daniil Hunter off the edge are, I would say, the best pass rusher duo we have in the NFL at this moment.
They need to do like a dynamic duo of the year in the NFL where it's like it doesn't even need to be like a quarterback receiver. It could be like last year probably would have been Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, or at least they would have been in the running. This year it could probably be those 2 for the Texans. They have been so fun to watch since that Jacksonville game too. That Jacksonville game, fans, if the Texans really are legit in terms of like the turnaround that they've had, that game may be looked back at as the turning point of their season.
And again, we've mentioned with Houston, I mean, we talk a lot with Denver and their one possession games, how Denver's just, it seems like they win a lot of one possession games. Houston lost a lot of their one possession games to start their year and have just rattled off some impressive wins, beating Jacksonville, who's really good right now, beating Buffalo, beating the Chargers on the road is an impressive win.
Beating the
Uh,
Cardinals. That's a good
yeah,
win.
they beat the, I did mention the Chiefs too, but
Oh, yeah.
yeah. I'm done with. I've been in mock draft mode the last 2 weeks. So
I love making fun of my team. I don't know if that's like a sign of like a way I cope or something, but I don't know.
Yeah. Storyline that did come out of this game though is it sounds like Herbert got banged up in this game and the Chargers are going to hold him out of Week 18,
That's huge.
which essentially drops the Chargers to the 7 seed, playing the Patriots. I want to know your guys' thoughts on that. Do you agree with the Chargers' decision to park Herbert in Week 18 and potentially line up a matchup with the Patriots in wild card round?
I mean, would you rather fight for it and maybe end up with the 6 seed and end up playing the Jags, or would you rather do that and possibly have Herbert get banged up even more and now we can't go for the playoffs? Or would you rather just be like, all right, I want to make sure that my quarterback's fully healthy. I want to make sure we are as healthy as we can possibly be to have at least a shot in the playoffs? Because I feel like I would rather, especially with as many injuries as I feel like the Chargers have had, I don't blame them at all for wanting to be like, just don't take as many risks as you can possibly take. I see the angle because the Patriots are a really good team right now. They kind of have their own situation going on, which I don't know. We'll either talk about that later or we won't. But if you know at this point. But they are a good team, but I don't think they are so good of a team that you are like, we cannot play them by any means necessary because we will lose, if that makes sense.
I would argue you would rather play the Patriots than the Jags at this point because I think the Jags handled the Chargers earlier in the year. If I'm thinking of the right game,
yeah, I mean, and the Bills are the 7 seed, and they just beat the Patriots 2 weeks ago. So
yeah,
if the Chargers somehow win, the Patriots are probably going to get the 1 seed, right?
Yeah, the Patriots because the Chargers are playing Denver this week.
Yeah,
so Denver's going to play their starters in that game.
Oh yeah,
to lock up the 1 seed. But yeah,
see, that's what's great because what seemed like, remember how we were talking about the hypothetical situation where the Rams could sit all their starters against the Cardinals? I don't think many people are going to be sitting their starters this week in the NFC or the AFC. That's what's great about. I'm so excited for this week of football because every game in terms of the team's still in contention for the playoffs, it legitimately matters so much. I mean, heck, the Panthers and Buccaneers are almost playing a playing game almost. By the way it's set up.
They
are. Which I think I did a scenario. I ran through all the scenarios. They tie, Panthers are in. I think is the scenario I saw, no matter what. But everybody's playing for something. Yeah, it sucks. I'd rather want a healthy Herbert if I was a Chargers fan. And going up against the Patriots is not a bad thing because that's a new team if you really think of it. This is their first go at it. I know Vrabel has been there. He's got a reputation of big playoff wins. But it's still a new experience for a lot of those players, especially Drake May, who might be the front runner right now for the MVP award after last night's performance by the Rams. It's just it sucks that it has to be this way because it would be cool to see the Chargers and Broncos like full strength week 18. Broncos win, they get the first seed. All that, like, it matters because it's a divisional rivalry. So like it like all that stuff gets added to it. But I don't blame the Chargers for sitting Herbert because let's be honest, they're in the playoffs. You would rather have your starting quarterback in the wild card against anyone doesn't matter who the team is, than to put them out there and be like, oh yeah, we somehow did upset the Broncos, but Herbert aggravated whatever his situation is.
Well, again, the Chargers got absolutely spanked by the Jags earlier in the year, and the Jags are lining up right now as the 3 seed, unless anything crazy happens.
Which
So-
good on you for calling out the Jags heading into this season, man.
I think that's the only prediction I've gotten right before the season was I was high on the
I give a
Jags.
prediction though.
Yeah.
And I had the Bears making the playoffs. I do remember that. I think I've whiffed everything else.
Let's be honest. Most people have whiffed on almost every prediction they had heading into this season.
Yeah. It's been a
This season
goofy.
made no sense.
It's been goofy this year.
Which has been great. That's fun about that's what's so fun about this season. It doesn't make any sense.
I have not had fun this season, Brock. I'm sorry. I just have
I've
not.
had so much fun watching the different ways the Cardinals could tease that they're going to win and then like do the exact opposite.
Like if you were to tell us in August when we're making our like preseason like predictions and whatnot, if you were to tell us that Phillip Rivers coming out of retirement to play 3 games, playing really well and they still lose the games, is like a top 3 most surprising thing that happened this season.
By the way, the Chargers losing last weekend is what eliminated the Colts. So just another year of the Chargers preventing Phillip Rivers from going to the playoffs.
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to the Chargers for that one. But yeah, it feels like we're in 2013 again, the way the number 1 seeds are lining up right now, with Denver out of the AFC, Seattle out of the NFC. Granted, 2 totally different teams than what that Super Bowl was back 12 years ago. But
this season, as fun and as messy as it is, could really be a sign of what the future of the NFL is going to look like for a lot of teams, which teams are going to be contending for years on end. Because, I truly believe that the Chiefs will be back in contention for a Super Bowl within the next 2 to 5 years. I really do think that they will be able to get back to where they are. But, like, you got the Broncos with the young Bo Nix and a great defense led by also some young talent as well. The Patriots, like, I know it's like teams that have won Super Bowls in the past 25 years, but like you got the Jaguars finally, it seems like they're finally figuring it out. Like, who would have thought? Because last year I would have been like, yep, that franchise is just going to be sitting there. The Texans somehow have a really good defense again. And I mean, they have all the tools for a good offense. I truly believe it's just they need to find a way to put it together and keep it consistent. And then the Chargers are finally. It seems like they're taking a step forward, but they're also taking a couple steps back every time they move closer and closer to contending. And then the AFC is just a complete like blank show in terms of like who's contending this year, because really, everybody but one team, if the playoffs started today, I think I could see winning the Super Bowl or even making it to the Super Bowl on the NFC side. This has been a blast. This season really could be shaping up what the future of the league looks like in terms of contenders, which is really bad for the teams that had down years who were supposed to be the contenders this year. Like, woo. I mean, well, okay, not the Chiefs. That's the only team I'm not too worried about. But seems like Cincinnati's had a lot of rumblings of certain things going on down in that organization, which, I mean, who isn't shocked at this point?
We haven't talked much Cincinnati at all, and they were the talking point of our podcast every episode in the summer. Because they were like, when is Shamar Stewart going to sign his contract? When is he going to sign his contract? When is Trey Hendrickson coming back? Just for them to be bad. Just for them to be stinky.
And I think it's going to get worse.
Yeah, they've been bad. Like, since the Super Bowl. They have not made the playoffs since that year, I don't think.
I think this was before Braden joined not last season's predictions, but the year before. I said something was fishy going on in Cincinnati, and Dawson, I don't know if you remember that. And maybe it was last year. I can't remember for sure. It was one of the last 2 years. I was like, something's fishy going on. I just don't like it. I don't like the organization and how they run things. I don't even think Cincinnati people like how the organization is ran. And I mean, I'm seeing proposed trade, not like real trades, but like proposed trades that Joe Burrow may be getting traded this offseason. If that happens, if I'm a Cincinnati fan, I'm burning down the facility.
Hey, man, where there's smoke, there could be some fire. Just saying. None of us thought a year ago today that Luka Doncic was going to be an LA Laker. Okay.
Yeah, but that's the NBA.
I don't care. You can't say a trade is impossible anymore in sports. You just can't.
Yeah.
Like, the only player in like football or basketball right now that I'd be like, there's no way that player's getting traded is Wemby. And even then, it's like, God, Oklahoma City could offer just an ungodly package for them if they wanted to. Like, that's like the only guy that's like, okay, he's not getting traded for at least a couple seasons. Everyone else in the league, there's rumors about all the time.
Sticking with that division, is Mike Tomlin coaching his last game in Pittsburgh this weekend? Not because he's going to get fired, just in general.
It's definitely a possibility.
I know this is
it definitely feels like the fan base is pretty much given up on him.
Mm-hmm.
But also the Steelers just don't really get rid of coaches.
Yeah.
They've had like 3 coaches in the last 80 years or something like that. Maybe 60.
All of them have won championships, but it's not big.
Yeah, I mean, I would say at least 50% of the league would like bend over backwards to have Mike Tomlin as their head coach. I would say. But also, yeah, it kind of does just feel like it's just not happening right now with the Steelers. Something's not right. It kind of feels like whatever they do, whatever momentum they get to kind of become like this next step, it just doesn't work. Like you have Rodgers, who the last month he's been doing decent, and now this week it's like, oh, he cares more about Myles Garrett not breaking the sack record than he was actually winning the football game. So I really don't know. I haven't necessarily liked what's been going on in Pittsburgh this entire season, off season, all of that. They had a little bit of a moment there where it was kind of good, but now it's back to, well, they had to get back up to 500 is the deal, because they were kind of starting to sag a little bit lower than 500. All right, they locked in, go back up. Now they're sitting at, what are they sitting at now? 9-7. So they're probably going to lose this week. All is well. I don't know.
How many? He needs 2 sacks. I mean, he needs a sack and a half to. Myles Garrett needs this weekend to break the record. Yeah. Oh, I so hope he does
that. With the Mike Tomlin stuff, it's super weird because again, you mentioned, I don't know if it was Brock or Braden, but they just don't fire coaches, like literally ever. Like, it's just not in their MO.
It's just something about black and gold teams that loyalty.
Dude, they just keep their coaches for too long sometimes. I could see a coach trade before I could see Tomlin getting fired, if that makes sense. Like, I could see the Steelers just be like, you know what? It's time for us to reset. We're not going to fire Tomlin because Tomlin's still a valuable asset to like someone else, and they would just ship him off for draft picks. This wouldn't be the first time it's happened. When Sean Payton went to Denver, he was traded from New Orleans. When John Gruden went from the Raiders to the Buccaneers, he was traded there. Like, it's not like unheard of. It's happened in basketball too, with Rivers going from Boston to the Clippers. Like, it's kind of rare.
Best trade in NBA history, by the way.
Yeah. You could just make a movie on that 2013-14 offseason for Boston, just the haul that they got for literally everyone.
You literally could put all of those trades, and if you would have told me that the Celtics would win a championship in the next 10 years, I'd be like, no, there's no way. And,
Jonas Jerebko?
and
What?
literally 10 years
Jared
later,
Wallace? Jared Solinger? To the Celtics winning a chip.
like
Avery
literally.
Bradley?
Hey, don't be hating on Avery Bradley, man.
Kelly Olynyk?
What's
Although
his nickname again?
Kelly Olynyk is still playing, so that one's not as funny. But no, my point is I just don't see Tomlin like getting fired at all. I would see there's a scenario. I guess it'd be like if you're telling me to pick a percentage, I'd say there's a 10% chance that he would get fired after like Monday morning or Tuesday morning he would get fired. But
how does because I know it's different, and how do coaches' contracts work in the NFL? They can't just leave, right? There's no buyout, right?
I don't think in pro. No,
Okay.
I think like that's why like coach trades happen in pro sports.
Which
It's
what a situation where you can't just get up and leave out of nowhere. Imagine that being a thing. But yeah, I don't know. I just saw an article about it and I was like, huh, that would be interesting. And if you're Mike Tomlin, like at what point do you just go like I've done everything? Like you're a Super Bowl, you're a Hall of Famer. Like you don't think so?
we need to have a Hall of Fame episode, and I've mentioned this a couple times of like players, coaches that like could be on the bubble. I need to like in depth look at his stats and his coaching resume more before I get an informed decision. But he hasn't won a playoff game since 2016. That's almost a decade. I was at Dawson Livingston was at the last time Mike Tomlin won a playoff game. I was in attendance. Okay. He won that game off 6 field goals. Okay. That's how you know it's been bad for the Steelers. They beat the Chiefs 18-16. It's still engraved in my head. I was 13 years old. I am 22 years old going on 23 at this point. That is how long it has been since this man has won a playoff game. So,
I mean, wasn't like before he got to Kansas, granted he won a bunch of Super Bowls when he got to once Mahomes started playing, but like wasn't Andy Reid still like it seems like a lot of people thought he'd be a borderline Hall of Famer.
I think that was more just the Chiefs organization not knowing how to win playoff games because before Reid got there, they hadn't won a playoff game since 93 or 94 is the stat. Like they'd get the 1 or 2 seed.
Oh, he had the
like
issue in Philly though.
Yeah, I was just about to say, did Andy Reid know how to win playoff games?
No, not saying he did, but at least he was able to like make a Super Bowl one year in Philly, and he made like 4 conference title games. But like Kansas City had went 20 odd years without winning a playoff game, and in Reid's first playoff game ever with the Chiefs, they were up 35-7 in the second half against the Indianapolis Colts, and they lost that game. So
we'll have to do an off season where we do
Hall of Fame or not
for like coaches and then some specific positions, and then we can discuss because I guess I'll end the conversation with this. Sean Payton, Mike McCarthy, John Harbaugh, Pete Carroll, are any of those Hall of Famers in your eyes?
Pete Carroll.
Pete Carroll for sure because it's the Pro Football Hall of Fame, right? It's not just the NFL Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. So Pete Carroll will get it a lot because of his success at USC, and he was a good NFL coach, but a lot because of his college success.
Okay, yeah, I guess I'm not going to put his USC days, especially some of them.
It's like how basketball is the Pro Basketball Hall of Fame. It's not the NBA Basketball Hall of Fame. Whereas MLB is just like, hey, whatever you did in.
Mike Tomlin has 20 more wins than Pete Carroll, as well as 10 more wins than Sean Payton, John Harbaugh, and Mike McCarthy. He's number 10 in the all-time winning.
See, now the John Harbaugh one.
That does hold weight, but also, like, he's having these wins against like, too. The lowest tier in order to go 500 and then get smoked in the playoffs.
He's never finished below 500, right?
Never.
Nope.
So, yeah. I like, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that he's, like, first ballot Hall of Famer. Because, I mean, you look at the people above him, it's like, Tom Landry, Andy Reid, Bill Belichick, like those guys are first ballot guys. And so, And Mike Tomlin had a lot of opportunities to get more than one Super Bowl. And honestly, if he probably would have won one more, it probably would be no like question kind of thing.
He absolutely, well, I think it was the year they had beaten Kansas City in the playoffs in 2016 with the Killer Bees. Like that was the last year of the Killer Bees. They should have won that. I think that's the year they lost to, was it Jacksonville or New England? They lost to Jacksonville one of those years when Blake Bortles was starting, where it's
so
like,
bad.
What are we doing?
Keenum, Blake Bortles, Tom Brady, and Nick Foles.
Yeah,
championship weekend.
Iconic.
The graphic.
Yeah. Let's talk about a few more games this past weekend, and then we'll look ahead to Week 18, and then get into Player of the Week power rankings. The other Saturday night game, the Ravens defeated the Packers 41-24, off hit an historic performance by Derrick Henry, 36 carries, 216 rushing yards, 4 rushing touchdowns.
He decided to show up.
He did. He helped
John
out.
Harbaugh remembered he had a Hall of Fame running back.
That too. Look what happens when you guys play football, like with a brain. You win. Granted, the Packers didn't. They had already hurt Malik Willis at quarterback.
Yeah.
Who Clayton Tune out there.
Shout out Malik Willis.
Yeah.
Malik might play himself back into a starting quarterback role.
I think teams that I think someone needs to give him a chance somewhere.
Well, yeah, there's no reason that he shouldn't be a starter at least somewhere. You can't tell me that Geno Smith deserves to start another game for the Raiders when Malik Willis has just been absolutely balling out. It's a crazy conversation we're having at the end of 2025 that I'd rather have Malik Willis starting over Geno Smith. But here's where
that's not ridiculous. That's not ridiculous to say that though. Like even last year, whenever Malik Willis was coming for Jordan Love when he like hurt his ribs for a while, he was like he was one of the top performing quarterbacks. Like he was playing really well. This season when he's come in with Jordan Love coming hurt, he's looked good. I thought he should have gotten a shot last year.
But who else are you going to pay millions upon millions of dollars to tank your team?
And Geno's their scapegoat. You can just blame it on Geno.
He is the tank commander.
Which, I mean, the fact that also I know that Clayton Tune ended up playing. Shout out former Cardinals quarterback Clayton Tune.
Going back to Geno, because I remember I saw a tweet. It was like every time I tune into a Raiders game, it's just Geno Smith on the ground screaming in pain. And like, yes, that is the state of the Raiders right now. Losing by like 20 points to the Giants.
Okay, Brock, let me say something real quick and I'll let you go.
Yeah.
We talk about like Sam Darnold and like how his career like revived. Like his low point was with Carolina when he got cut and then went to Minnesota, balled out. Now Seattle is number 1 seed. Do you want to talk about a quarterback that the exact opposite has happened? Geno Smith. Geno went from nothing with the Jets, bounced around as a backup for a few years. Seattle, he balls out. Like, for Geno Smith standards, balls out.
Biggest
goes to the Raiders, and he's the worst quarterback in the NFL. Like, or at least bottom 3 worst quarterbacks in the NFL. Yeah, like, oh my God. As a Brock Bowers fantasy owner, he just doesn't throw him the ball sometimes, and it is infuriating. But all right, Brock, sorry, I needed to get that out there.
I mean,
what were we even talking about?
The
Packers
Ravens and the Packers. Yeah,
Malik Willis. I said shout out Malik Willis because he's been balling out this year.
There are a handful of quarterbacks that aren't playing right now that I think we'll be getting a look at this offseason because. Let's be honest. The talent pool for the draft this year, quarterback position wise.
You're not a friend Fernando Mendoza.
Why are you looking
guy?
at me like that? I don't know if I like that look you're giving, Brock.
I just don't feel like it's that good. I think it's trash. Sorry, which is funny because the Cardinals are going to end up with one of them, and I'm going to just have to deal with Simpson.
No, dude. Honestly, Cardinals should take best available player and sign Malik Willis. Honestly,
that's what I'm
let Malik cook.
Give me Malik Willis next season. I will buy a Malik Willis.
What's going to happen? I already know what's going to happen. Malik Willis, he's going to get like a 1 year, like $20 million contract, and he's going to suck.
He's going to get the Justin
awful.
Fields contract from last offseason, where it's like Fields played good in spots for the Steelers, got a 2-year deal
He'll
with the
get
Jets,
the Sam
and
Donald Vikings contract. He'll get like a 1 year, decent amount of money, just see what happens, and then he's going to either be like a top 10 quarterback or just blow chunks. And it's going to be like, what happened? We've been singing your praises. What happened?
Why?
I'd like to apologize to Cliff Kingsbury. If you want to come be the head coach of my football team, let's have you and Malik Willis try to put together.
Oh, there you go, dude. That
let's just.
I don't know how many games that team would win,
but
that would be a fun team.
How sad of the state of affairs the Cardinals have to become for Brock Bierman to come onto this show and grovel to the feet of Cliff Kingsbury.
Hey, there's a good chance we start 7-0. He's really good in the first half.
Listen, 7 games, respectfully, is a drastic improvement from what we've seen in the 2020s.
That 7-0 start was my favorite 7 weeks of being a Cardinals fan. That's been, and then AJ Green decided not to play football.
And AJ Green were disconnected in the back of the end zone.
Yep.
And then the next day, I was like, "Oh, JJ Watt happened to be hurt that game. He's also out the rest of the year." It was great. That 7-week stretch, I was like, "Oh my God, we're good at football. This is exactly what they built. This is the time to be good." And then I was like, "Nah, you think?
Nah, this is Cardinals football. Let's crater back to reality."
They're like, "Do you forget who the heck we are? We're Arizona. We don't win." We hired coaches with like no personality, too much personality, or no personality at all. Because they went from Cliff Kingsbury, who like comes off as this like, I'm cool, to I'm Jonathan Gannon and I coach football.
Sounds like a backyard sports character.
Brock cannot wait until next Monday or Tuesday when he's got that graphic ready.
If they announce that
they announce he's fired at 8:05 p.m. at
8:06
a.m. You better believe 515 podcast wherever, Twitter, Instagram.
I got it in my drafts.
He might even force me out of work to record a TikTok about it. Honestly, he might call my work, be like, "Hey, you got to let Braden Bankin take an hour off."
So they play
business.
They play at 3:25 on Sunday. I think around 4:30 I might just post a graphic. I just
don't even let the game finish.
Jonathan Gannon has
third quarter down by 5. He's
gonna turn. We're just turning into a meme account. Then we're just gonna post firings like NBA Centel. We're gonna throw them out there in the universe and then pray to God that we're right. Oh,
make a 516 podcast network account baby. Just to post all the fake graphics that aren't real yet.
Oh my God. To close our thoughts on Packers Ravens. Ravens extend their playoff hopes.
We did it again.
Packers aren't really playing for much because I think they're pretty much locked into the 7 seed.
So what's Lamar's situation? It's been a while since I've kept up on his injury.
I don't really know.
Hurt / really doesn't want to have to deal with Daniel Faalele anymore, I think.
Yeah.
So do you think he plays the rest of the year?
It says that he's questionable and it's his lower back. But then we'll have a better idea tomorrow.
Carrying the team with a.
Yeah, I mean, you can't say that because Derrick Henry just rushed for 4 touchdowns and 200 yards.
I got ahead of myself again.
But no. Ravens keep their hopes alive. Packers, this game didn't really matter to them. I guess if they would have won, they could have moved up to the 6th seed, played Chicago, but they're locked into the 7th seed at this moment. So it didn't really hurt them too much.
I can't wait. I need a Chicago Packers playoff game in Chicago. Dude, I think America needs it, especially with what happened last time.
Oh my God, yeah. The game we didn't get to cover 2 weeks ago was unbelievable the last 2.5
I've
minutes.
never had so much fun watching a game just from a fan perspective.
Yeah.
I actually, okay, sorry. Last side story for now. But that game,
can't make any promises.
That game, Sarah literally went to bed And I was like, you don't like, this is when they were down 10. I was like, you don't want to watch the Bears come back? She looks at me and just goes, it's the Bears. Oh, I flooded her phone with texts on every play. The rest of the night, because I knew she was still on her phone. And I just kept saying the Bears in all caps, no context outside of that. I have never had such a blast watching two teams that I really don't care about personally play a football game on a, what was this, Saturday night?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything about that game was just perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, you were watching that game, and with 2.5 minutes to go, the Bears down 10. You could have gotten Bears plus 1,000 to win that game.
I should have texted you because I made that comment right before the 2-minute warning.
I'm like, I had my phone open. I'm like, I think the Bears are going to pull this one off. But I digress. We're not too many Sunday games we're going to talk about, unless you guys are missing one. I'm just going to breeze through the scores.
I would like to talk about the last game that happened on Sunday.
Yeah, we'll talk about that one.
Back-to-back game of the years.
Yeah.
In back-to-back weeks.
Honestly, back-to-back days. The one last night was pretty good, too, as we record.
I'll just go through these scores really quick. Bengals defeat the Cardinals 34-17. Browns defeat the Steelers 13-6. Saints defeat Titans 34-26. Jags defeat the Colts 23-17. Dolphins defeat the Bucks 20-17. Patriots dismantle the Jets 42-7 or 42-10, excuse me. Seahawks beat the Panthers 27-10. Giants over the Raiders 34-10. And now we'll get into the last two Sunday games and then the Monday night game that were really good. We're going to start with Eagles-Bills. This was just a nasty, nasty football game. Up until the fourth quarter for Buffalo, it was just an absolute embarrassment that they weren't able to get really anything going on the ground or in the air at all. But Philly defeats the Bills 13-12. Philly improves the record at 11-5, and I think is still alive for the 2 seed if they win and Chicago loses. Mm-hmm. And then Buffalo drops to 11-5 on the I think, Braden, you mentioned, are they the 7 seed right now, or are they I think they're the 7.
The Bills?
They're the 7 seed. Right now they're slotted behind the Chargers. But that will probably change with Herbert not playing on, I think the Chargers game Saturday this upcoming week. But Buffalo drops this one. I want to get your guys' thoughts on them going for 2 on the last touchdown. Would you have went for 2? Do you like the call? What are your guys' thoughts on that? Because that's kind of the big storyline of this one.
Do you want Madden Brock or realistic Brock?
Either or.
Whichever one wants to show up.
Yes.
I wouldn't have went for 2. I don't know. I don't know why you're doing that at home. Maybe in Philly. Not in Buffalo.
It's kind of a like what if you do, what if you don't sort of situation where obviously they didn't get it and now it looks bad. It's like, oh, you should have taken your PAT, went to overtime. But in the situation where they take the PAT, go into overtime, and then their offense hasn't done anything all game. All right, well, they're going to continue to do nothing, and maybe they get in the field goal range for whoever their kicker is right now. I honestly couldn't tell you. Maybe he makes it. Maybe he shanks it.
Michael Badgley.
The money badger. More likely than not, you are putting the fate of the game in overtime in the hands of the money badger. Not going to end well for you. So I don't know if they win that game in overtime. Obviously, they didn't win it in regulation. I don't hate the call per se, but also, yeah, I do think it would make a lot more sense in the link where you are having to go against the crowd noise as well. But I don't know. It's not the most heinous 2-point conversion attempt I've ever seen. Obviously, it didn't work for him, but I've seen worse.
I think this call would have made sense if this was if it was the Sunday night game and it's an absolute shootout and you're just trying to get this game over with. I think that call makes sense. But man, I just would have taken the PAT there. Granted, Badgley had his PAT blocked on the previous touchdown which may have influenced Sean McDermott to go for 2 instead. And Khalil Shakir was open. Allen just flat out missed him. Like, the play was drawn up perfectly. They had Shakir in the back of the end zone, and Allen was not able to deliver a great pass there. I don't know if you guys remember this. Do you guys know that Brandon Cooks signed with the Bills? This like totally slipped my mind until watching Sunday's game. And then I watched him have 100 yards. I'm like, oh my God, dude. Brandon Cooks. When's the last time you heard Brandon Cooks like having great, meaningful games anymore? Because it felt like, wasn't he on the Saints earlier this year?
He was.
And then he's just been bounced around between bad teams. And it's like, oh my God, Brandon Cooks can still like contribute. 4 catches for 101 yards. I mean, he was Buffalo's leading receiver by 77 yards. I mean, pretty remarkable and pretty sad if you're anyone else on the Bills, like if you had him in fantasy. I'm talking Khalil Shakir, James Cook, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox, all those guys. But any concerns for Buffalo after this one?
They're the most inconsistent team, or one of.
I mean, the Eagles' defense is really good, and the Eagles' offense is really bad, and that's what we saw today. We saw their defense was able to lock up the Bills' offense, which how many times have I said it before? If James Cook doesn't get going, the Bills' offense doesn't get going. And guess what? James Cook didn't have a bad game necessarily. 77 yards isn't the worst, but really, you're looking for him to go over the century mark for you to be like, all right, yeah, the Bills are winning this game, and he didn't do that. So I think it's the same thing we've seen all year, where you'll have games where it's all clicking, you'll have games where it wasn't. This is just a game where it wasn't, because the Eagles' defense is really good.
Yeah. Any other thoughts on Philly, Buffalo before we get into the game that Braden wants to talk about?
I hate Philly. I hate Philadelphia.
Yeah. Ditto.
I hate that they keep getting away with this garbage.
I hate the city. I hate their teams. I hate everything about Philly.
You know what's funny is I don't watch a lot of baseball, but I found myself, was it like 2 or 3 years ago, the Phillies made the World Series. I like a lot of the guys in the Philly roster. I like Bryce Harper. I like Schwarber. That is the only part of Philly that like I somewhat could like stand is the Phillies.
No,
But that's
they're the reason that they have all this like stereotypes of what a,
Yeah,
a
true.
Philadelphia sports fan is. They throw
True.
batteries at Santa. What are you doing?
Someone didn't get what they wanted for Christmas or got cola. I don't know what to tell you.
Obviously, they didn't get coal because they were throwing batteries.
Or just got the batteries instead of the actual toy.
Only
Can I
Philly
just say,
fans can make Santa
what is
feel-
what is he, the Philly fanatic? What is that
Yeah.
supposed to be?
He's a
What
fanatic,
is that?
dude.
I'm gonna start a war with Philadelphia right now. That is an abomination.
Is he like a car? He's got to be like a car dealer salesman, like during the day.
Wait, you're not a fan of this guy? Hold on. I'm pulling it up for the people that don't know who we're talking about.
Wait, you didn't know who we were talking about?
No, for the people
Oh,
that don't know
okay.
what we're talking
I
about.
was like, how do you not?
no,
know?
dude, the Philly fanatic, of course, dude. This guy,
No.
this guy right here, this big.
He looks like a pea shooter from Plants vs. Zombies on like a bad trip.
Bro, the
I have
one that's
nightmares of that
is
thing.
awful.
That thing. What are? Oh my gosh! Look up their flyer. Look at the Flyers mascot.
oh, the Flyers
They're
one's
all
bad too.
Philadelphia has the worst mascots.
Isn't the 76ers mascot just like a
The
dog?
dog, isn't it?
No, I thought it was a bunny. Is it a dog?
All right, hold on. We gotta. Oh,
Look into the
it's
515
Franklin the dog.
Oh, it is a dog. Okay, I thought it was a bunny. No, it used to be a bunny.
Oh, it did.
Oh my God. Hip Hop was his name. Wait. Are they bringing him back this year?
Welcome to the Between the Hatches podcast. We're an hour in and we're talking about mascots.
Hell yeah.
Oh my God. Hip Hop made his return on November 8th this year. So they brought him back too.
Shout out.
So you have two just gremlins and a dog. And I guess also maybe or maybe not a bunny.
Oh my gosh, this is and the dog is not terrifying. It literally looks like the softest thing in the world.
Do the Eagles have a mascot? I think.
Yeah, I think
it's just an eagle.
Isn't it Swoops?
Yeah, Swoop.
Yeah.
Or no. What, Swoop,
I think their honorary mascot is that one guy with like the green and black face.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He goes to all
the season's over guy.
That's
guy.
the guy. I am mistaken. That's the guy who I was talking about. He definitely sells cars during the day.
Oh yeah.
Oh, probably. That's like he works at like State Farm or something.
He's probably a great insurance person. Actually, that's the guy you want on your team.
That's a guy who Wednesday water cooler. That's the guy you want to talk to. He's got some stories.
Oh yeah. 2 more games to cover this week, and then we're gonna wrap up week 17. Talk about week 18. Braden's 49ers defeat the Chicago Bears 42-38, and like we mentioned, potential game of the year on Sunday Night Football. Just an absolute amazing game to watch. If you are a fan of offense, I think all of us are. Fantastic game from start to finish. Brock Purdy goes 24 for 33, 303 yards, 3 touchdowns.
A white guy has a little bit of motion. Got through to a white guy has a little bit of motion.
I found a new soundbite.
You like that? You like that?
Are we just unloading the soundboard now? I mean,
no, okay, I'm done. I've been waiting all show to be able to click that.
But Purdy also was able to get 30 yards on the ground and pick up 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Niners played a pretty complete game on the offensive side, having just over 300 passing yards, just over 200 rushing yards. Chicago looked pretty good too. Williams went 25 for 42, 330 yards, 2 passing touchdowns. Luther Burden and Colson Loveland looked unbelievable for the Bears, but just wasn't able to get it done. Braden, I'm going to let you start first because this is your team. What were your thoughts on the Niners winning this game? And what are your thoughts as a whole thus far with the Niners season?
I want to start out with the positives, right? I feel like that's the best way to do this. Brock Purdy, since coming back from injury and fully being able to get his rhythm back, he's playing awesome right now. He'll have 1 or 2 mistakes a game, but once he's kind of cracked out Bryce Young in a way, where he kind of has his government mandated turnover, and then once he's got that done, he just dances on God. It's insane. He throws the pick 6 first play of the game. That sucks, right? You start thinking, oh crap, here we go. We're about to get blown out on national television. And then he goes out and just doggies on the Bears defense, which granted isn't good. Neither's the Niners, but we'll get there. Has 5 combined touchdowns, 3 passing, 2 rushing, which Brock Purdy, 2 rushing touchdowns. If you took that prop, you probably made a good amount of money off that. But he even got Chris Collinsworth to call him a little bit Mahomey there for a sec. That was kind of fun.
That was awesome. I'm so happy he acknowledged the memes.
Yes. Yeah, and then the internet reaction afterward was all right, is he rage baiting? Is he what's going on here? No, it's the guy knows what he's doing. He knows how to get the clicks. That's his whole job. But anyways, yeah, Pearsall came back. Had kind of been slow all year. Was hurt for a while. Came back, had a pretty good game. Jawan Jennings had 1 catch for 4 yards. For about 50 minutes of this game, and then he caught a game-winning 39-yard touchdown. Christian McCaffrey had the best game he's had since he was hurt all last year. The longest run before he had a 40-something yarder on Sunday. The longest run on the season for the Niners was a Brock Purdy 29-yard scamper. I think it was 29. Like the run game just had not really taken off like it really needed to. In this game, it did. Which is that on the Niners run game actually figuring it out, or is it because the Bears run defense is just atrocious poo-poo? I guess we'll find out. But that's enough about the offense. We got to talk about how bad this 49ers defense is. And I don't want this to turn into just me saying, oh, the Bears offense sucks. How did we let them score that many points? Because I respect the heck out of the Bengals. Good Lord. The Bears. I respect
Bengals,
the Bears
he says.
offense. The Bengals offense is pretty good too, but that's a whole other thing. Caleb Williams has looked really good. It feels like everyone that catches a football on the Bears has like 40 catches for 600 something yards and like 5 touchdowns. Like I think like 4 or 5 receivers on the Bears have that exact stat line. DeAndre Swift and Kyle Monangai have been one of the better running back tandems in the league this year. But like that aside, obviously those guys are good. 49ers defense, boys. We used to be a proper country. We used to have superheroes on that defense. We used to have like Nick Bosa, Eric Armstead, Defoe, even like Sherman was decent. Charvarius Ward. Diamador Lenore is like the only guy on that team to where like I feel very confident I know his name right now. Like, and this is coming from a Niners thing. Like, I feel like I know most of the guys on the Niners. Before last night, if you were to ask me who Chase Lucas and God, what is his name? Darrell Luter. If you were to tell me who those guys were 2 days ago, I would not have an answer. I simply would not have an answer. And they were getting cooked all night. And then who was even our safeties? Jair Brown had like one decent drive. What
Upton
did Marquis
Stout.
Siegel come in? Upton Stout is like 5'9". He was playing decent, and then he got hurt. And like, I think we had like Jason Pinnock going in there for a bit. Like, what even is going on there? Don't even get me started on the linebackers, dude. Tatum Bethune. Who is that?
The only
Like,
reason I know that name is one of the earlier Niners games I watched this year. They did like a special on how like Fred Warner is his mentor, so much so that he's wearing Fred Warner's old number. That's like the only reason I know that guy's name.
That boy is not Fred Warner. Let me tell you. He had some decent hits, but it felt like every time there was somebody getting cooked over the middle, it was either Luke Gifford, number 57, I think, or it was Tatum Bethune getting just shredded. Or that one, it was like a 3rd and long late in the game where we held him. We had him clamped, and then it was a flag for like unnecessary roughness because he was squaring up with Luther Burden downfield. Like, we let Dre Greenlaw do that because he was good, all right? That's not a pass everybody gets. You have to be good at the game in order to be able to, like, do dumb stuff. That's why we let Greenlaw do it. That's why Trent Williams got to do that, which I didn't even mention. Yeah, he left the game first play as well because he tweaked his hamstring. We'll see if he can play.
Christian McCaffrey seems to be hurt too.
As soon as it's finally starting to shape up to be like, okay, is this the year? Question mark. We don't have to worry about getting our backs blown out by the Chiefs again. Like,
Pause.
something's if there's going to be a year, this feels like the year. And then it's as soon as it's like, all right, we're going to make the push.
So
everybody's hurt now.
What's the situation in terms of like Fred Warner's timetable? Because people are making it sound like he's going to be playing soon, but I don't know what that means.
I don't really know for sure.
Okay.
It's a possibility.
I think people are also probably just a little too hopeful. Not hopeful, optimistic that it might come sooner than later. I don't know.
Wasn't there that big story last year with Hutchinson though, where it's like if the Lions make the Super Bowl, like if they gotten that farther, he's gonna come back, and it's like, no.
Granted, they didn't even get close.
I was gonna say Hutchinson like tore, was it his Achilles or his ACL or something like that, and he's talking like he's gonna be back in 6 months. Like, come on, we gotta be a little bit more realistic as NFL
leg
fans.
snapped like a spaghetti noodle.
Yeah,
It did not look good. But
so
yeah, I don't really know what's going on with Fred Warner. I would like for him to be back because we need somebody on that defense to actually, I don't know, defend.
Adam Scheffler said yesterday that it's a long shot that he plays again this year. But then every other like website has something that says, "Oh, he could."
Yeah, I mean, he could if he found like some miracle supplement. He could just shoot in his foot to where everything just kind of magically fuses together like a magic school bus experiment or something. But yeah, I don't know. I have my questions about the Niners. That's what I'm gonna say. But tell you what, if you want to watch a game that finishes 42-38 like last week did, this is the team for you because we are not stopping anybody and we are scoring all of the points, except we might actually stop somebody. We're not the Bengals where it's like, all right, no, they're just giving up 100 points. We might get a couple because we still have that one guy that could kind of be good sometimes.
Yeah. I saw, there's obviously the videos of Purdy dancing after each touchdown. And there's a video of Mac Jones on the sideline also like kind of participating in the celebration. I didn't know, and maybe Braden, you knew about this, but I didn't, that there's a nickname for these two. Like there's a nickname for this duo quarterback situation. Do you know what? Have you heard of this?
I don't think I've heard it. And I'm going to guess since you won't say it, you're probably not saying it on.
Oh, no, I'm going to say it. I just didn't know if you've heard it. So apparently someone came up with the nickname for Mac Jones and Brock Purdy, the duo, even though they both don't play at the same time. It's Mac 10 and Glock Purdy is the nickname that they came up with. And someone has a Lethal Weapon meme, like movie poster of those two. And it says starring Mac 10 and Glock Purdy. And I think it's hilarious for no reason whatsoever. But no, this game was a blast. Who knows how far each team can go? Who knows how far the 49ers can go just because of the injury situation? By the way, we are, let me look here. I think I did the math right. We are 270 yards away from history. And I don't know if either of you guys know what I'm referring to. But there's a famous stat about one of these franchises that has never hit. They're the only franchise to never have a quarterback do this in a season.
Yeah, I know what you're referring to now.
Caleb Williams is sitting at 3,730 yards.
He ain't hitting it. He
has to go up against the Lions next week.
The Lions? Oh.
The Lions are going to do everything in their power to make sure he does not get 4,000 yards.
Part of me was second. I don't think they have to say.
Kind of like how last week the Steelers didn't want Garrett to break the record against them. Mm-hmm. I feel like that's what's going to happen.
What are they just going to run prevent the whole game?
Yeah, just 3 down linemen the entire game where it's going to be like, okay,
if that
Kyle Monungai and DeAndre Swift have to run the ball.
If they do that, I think
at that point you just run. At that point, you just run jet sweeps where you let Caleb Williams just kind of tap the ball forward, so they count as passing yards.
Yeah.
You watch. What does he need? 270.
He's gonna get 269.
He's gonna end up with like 240 something, and he's gonna miss one throw down the field that could have potentially gotten it. You watch. We're gonna record next week, and that's what's gonna happen.
I hope it happens, man. I like just so like we like. It's fun mentioning that it hasn't happened. It's a dumb like random fact, stat, whatever that
it's an ESPN stat. We can admit it's an ESPN stat, but it's also funny.
It's funny, but it would be kind of cool for like this guy, because I am friends with some people that actually live in the Chicago area. Apparently, has been still getting flamed up until the last 2 weeks of the season on whether or not he's the real deal. So it would be cool to see him finally just hit the 4,000 yards. And if he hits 3,999, it's going to be so sad.
But I don't know if sad's the word. I think it'd just be funny.
It'd be
I
such a
wouldn't-
Bears thing to do.
Yeah. Yeah. But the Bears, like, I don't know if you've seen their home versus road splits. They're like, it's two entirely different teams. They're 5-4 on the road, so they're not like great, but they got like a win over Philly on the road, which kind of skews that. But they're like a really, really good home team. And if they end up winning on Sunday, they'll end up being the 2 seed. So if we end up getting Packers Bears for a third time this year, with all the craziness that's happened, sign me up. We need that. Ingest that into my veins.
If we get Malik Willis at QB against the Bears in Soldier, and Malik Willis wins that game, he is making about $40 million next year.
Yeah. I could not agree more. One last game to close off week 17. I am very sad about this one, but for a personal reason that I will discuss in a second. Falcons beat the Rams 27-24. Man, when the Falcons don't have anything to play for, they're like the best team in the NFL. I don't know if you've noticed this. They, like, the last 3 weeks have just been on an absolute tear. Shout out to Bijan Robinson for ruining my chances of winning the fantasy chip. Shout out Matthew Stafford for playing like Geno Smith this week. That was awesome. Really love that. But yeah. Rams now dropped to 11-5. There's not really much Falcons talk I want to do on this, but I want to get your guys' opinions on the Rams.
You like that? You like that?
Oh man.
This is going to be a mess if I keep adding to this.
Yeah.
The sounds bar is already like the whole sidebar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, Dawson, if you'd like, I could use the other Kirk Cousins one.
I don't like that one. No. I don't like that one.
God forbid a white guy has a little bit of motion.
Okay, we're just going down the soundboard now, okay? I'll let you have your moment.
Explain your opinions on the Rams only using our like 20 sound options. Pick your favorite.
Oh, well, no, I can't do that. Zion,
No.
I'm still very upset of
Where's
how
it?
last night's game ended.
Wait, where'd it go? Oh, there we go.
That you could see Dawson's odds to win the championship game go down like this. It started at 81% before the game, and it immediately went down to like 5 after Bijan broke that 93-yard touchdown.
Dude, I was in my third place game. I had Kyron, Drake London, Kyle Pitts. I needed 20 points out of them.
You
I
weren't
did
even
not
close.
win. No, I did. I didn't win that until the last Kyle Pitts catch. I won by like a point. And it was like almost entire. It was 95% just because of Kyron Williams, because Blake Corum got hurt in that game.
Anytime Matthew Stafford's in a game where he could pretty much lock up an MVP award.
Yeah. All right.
Trash.
I need to get this question out because this is going to
Okay.
be a 2.5-hour episode if I don't. But any cause for concern with the Rams? They've kind of let some games like go in the last few weeks. They had that loss to Carolina 5 weeks ago. They lost that Thursday night thriller to Seattle last week. And then obviously this Falcons game. Is it time for you? Like, are you guys pressing the panic button with the Rams or just going to move on with them?
Nope, because they have a get-right game this week.
Man,
They seem to like doing the old Steelers thing where they just play down to competition, like way more than you would want for a team that you would think was going to at least win a playoff game. Like we spent about 30 minutes talking about how Mike Tomlin doesn't want a playoff game since 2016, and this is a lot of the reason why. Because they just don't seem to be willing to just just pounce on these bad teams like they need to. I mean, they almost came back and won that game because it's the Falcons and they do that sometimes. But at the end of the day, they didn't. They didn't win that game. They didn't respectfully, they didn't beat the Panthers, which, like, come on now. They got swept in their series by the Saints. Let's be real here.
The potential friskiest team in the NFL, man. Hold on.
Let's be honest, though, man.
But also, though, every team they've lost to except for the Falcons so far right now is in the playoffs, right?
Yeah. But it just feels like, I don't know, maybe since that Seattle game, my opinion of them has just changed like quite a bit.
People always talk about how big a close loss like that can affect a team. And that's not just in basketball. I mean, in football, it's in any sport.
Yeah. Because they were up, was it 10 points or was it 17 points in the fourth? I think it was 17.
Let me look.
And Raheem Shaheed gets that punt return touchdown. Seahawks get the ball back, score another touchdown or a field goal or whatever. End up tying it going to overtime. Have a great drive down the field and go for two and end it right then and there. Just feels like something's
they were
off.
up 30-14 in the start of the fourth quarter. Or actually, they were 30-14 after the first drive in the fourth quarter.
Like, I still like my chances if I'm a Rams fan of like running the table and going to the Super Bowl. But man, these last 2 weeks, you could have had the 1 seed like locked up, like not had to play this week. We mentioned that in all the scenarios we were talking, but now they're on the potential. Yeah, now they're potential 5 seed, 6 seed. I think right now they're sitting at the 6 seed, and depending on how the Niners Seahawks game goes and how their game goes, they can either be as high as number 5 and as low as number 6, which is a huge difference. No, because Green Bay's 9-6-1. That tie again throws everything off, but which is a big difference. You want that 5 seed because no offense to the Panthers. I mean, would you rather play at Carolina in Bryce Young's first ever playoff game potentially, or would you rather go to Philly, which you lost to in the playoffs last year? So
I have. You guys had the highest hopes on the Rams heading into the season. So if you guys haven't jumped off the ship, I wouldn't say that they're completely a lost cause. I mean, I think I said they were. I don't know. They'll still be contender. The NFC is a mess. Literally, again, like I said, I think outside of the Panthers, I legitimately could see any of these teams representing the NFC in the Super Bowl. And that's not even me trying to be funny with like how much we mentioned the Panthers. That's just being like real. I think all of these teams really could contend. And the funny part about the Panthers is that we're actually talking about a potential playoff appearance from the Carolina Panthers this season, which not even halfway, like 5 weeks into the season, it seemed like Tampa Bay had that already locked up for them. And now we don't even know if they'll make it. So, the Rams will be just fine. I know that they might have to have a tough route, but I know that the Eagles aren't that good. I don't think so. If they have to go up against them, I don't think it's that big of a deal compared to last year. I feel like
right, but again,
still in Philly,
even with the Eagles being worse this year, the Eagles are still night and day bit better than the Carolina Panthers. And not even like team wise, but like having to go to Carolina to play a home game and having to go to the Link. Oh my God! Not even in the same stratosphere.
Did the Panthers even sell out?
No, I don't think so.
How empty do you think that stadium would be if they made the playoffs?
Maybe I need to make an appearance for that game.
I don't know if it'd be empty in the playoffs.
Okay,
but I'm pretty sure like the last couple of weeks I've been seeing videos of like
no one's bought
people in the stands. They're like half empty.
Yeah,
with like 5 minutes to kick off.
So no worries on the Rams. They'll be fine.
Yeah.
I'd obviously rather play the frisky Panthers, but we'll see.
Yeah. That kind of wraps up week 17. We're going to get into Player of the Week power rankings, and then we're going to look ahead to some of the Week 18 games that actually matter, and then we'll close this episode off. We're going to first start with we usually start with Player of the Week, right? It's been 2 weeks. I tend to forget.
Yeah,
but we're going to start with Player of the Week honors. Oh, let me get the right thing. Braden, you always start us off. The floor is yours.
Yeah. I mean, we already talked about this guy over when we were talking about this game, but it's incredible what Derrick Henry can do when John Hallmark remembers that he has a genetic freak of nature at running back. 216 rushing yards, 4 touchdowns, 6 yards a carry. Again, we talked about this ad nauseum earlier when we were talking about this game, so I'm not going to go over it too much. But yeah, I mean, it feels like this is about a quarter of his season production in this game alone. So kind of a return to form a bit. If you were relying on Derrick Henry in the playoffs or like in fantasy all year, if you somehow made it to the championship game, congratulations, you have reaped the benefits of that. Unfortunately, if you played Bijan Robinson, that probably doesn't matter too much. But unless you happen to be in that very specific scenario and had Derrick Henry on your fantasy team, you probably did win. So congratulations on that, and congratulations to the Ravens for again finally remembering you have good players on your team. So maybe you should use them.
Great pick, Braden. Brock, here's your Player of the Week.
Brock Purdy, 331 yards total, 5 total touchdowns, 2 on the ground, and some amazing plays. Everybody's seen the scramble that resulted in a touchdown to Kyle Juszczyk. 118.6 passer rating. I mean, just an unbelievable game. 10 total touchdowns I think he's had in the past 2 weeks. 6-0 since coming back from his injury. He would have been a Player of the Week last week if we would have recorded an episode. I think Braden had him selected when we were going through that. So he's just been on a groove, man, and just balling out, which, I mean, San Francisco has been desperately hoping that he could get back 6 weeks ago. So the fact that he's been able to do that has been just a blessing for him and the 49ers as a whole.
God forbid a white guy has a little bit of motion.
I think I had Brock as my Player of the Week for Week 15, the one that we did record on.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But yeah, no, he's been on an absolute tear, and a big reason why we've been able to win 5 in a row.
I think what happened. So, Braden, I don't know if you listened to the Hardwood Convos podcast last week, but it was mid episode when Purdy was going, because that was the Monday night game, right, for the 49ers. They were playing last Monday.
I think so, yeah.
And I think
that was the Colts game. Yeah.
I texted Dawson mid episode. I was like, "Can I switch my Player of the Week to Brock Purdy?" And he told me that you actually texted him the same thing in the middle of that game, which is hilarious. But that just shows you how great he's been.
That was 2 weeks ago, but yeah.
No, I have it last week.
Was it last week? I thought I had.
Time is irrelevant.
Yeah, you had Parker Washington and then switched to Purdy.
Oh, that's what I did. Okay.
Yeah.
But either way, it's just an unbelievable 2 week stretch and 6 game stretch for Brock Purdy.
Yeah. This is my Player of the Week. Yay, Bijan did good. Dawson lost his fantasy championship because Bijan did good. Dawson is sad. There we go. 229 total yards, 2 touchdowns, 8.9 yards carry. And it felt like every run in that game, he was going to break off for 50 yards. I don't know if you guys felt like that, but after that 190-yard touchdown, it felt like every time like he hesitated to like go through a gap, he was getting ready to score. Just the way I felt. But no, he had an unbelievable game.
I know we got to wrap this up, so this can be a quick question. We can touch base on it later. Are they a quarterback away? It's probably a deeper question, so we can touch on that later, but yeah. I feel like they have talent.
They are also a head coach away.
Okay.
Some of their play calling has been just outright bad.
Okay. So we're on the same we're kind of on the same boat.
Hey, maybe with Penix being bad / hurt, Malik Willis.
Dude, Mac Jones.
Okay. Whoa.
No. They're like I said, there's a lot of quarterbacks that are probably taking a backup role this year that I think may get a look at this offseason because the draft pool isn't necessarily the greatest, I feel like.
Mac Jones is still under contract, so unless we get a decent trade package for him, he's staying.
Yeah.
But like, I feel like some team may take a shot at that. I don't know.
What about Max Brosmer, dude? He's been doing okay.
He has like 100 yards in 2 weeks of gameplay.
I'd rather have 9.
Ladies and gentlemen, Max Brosmer played terrible on Christmas. He had less passing yards than Nikola Jokic that day had points in an NBA game. He had 51 passing yards. Jokic had 56 points. That is all I need to say when it comes to Max Brosmer.
Kurt Ferentz is salivating right now.
Hey, man. We get the passing yards now. It's just the touchdowns. Those are the tough part
Baby
for Iowa
steps.
fans.
Baby steps.
Yeah, hey, you gotta start somewhere. Now into power rankings for this week, week 17. Braden, the floor is yours.
Yeah, so I got Patriots at number 1. I'm trying to remember even like my rationale for it because this is what I had. I based it off of my week 16. It was the same until last night when the Rams decided to lose to the Falcons. So trying to kind of remember what my reasoning was on that. But yeah, the Patriots have looked really good all year. We'll see if they look the same without maybe their wide receiver. We didn't talk about it much this episode. That's not really the genre of football news we really talk about here. If you want to figure that out, you can do your own research there. But I believe in Drake May still. He seems to be the MVP favorite right now because Stafford wants to turn back into Stat Padford and just completely blow his MVP candidacy. But yeah, May's been really good. The running back tandem's been good. Stevenson's been all right. Trayvon Henderson's looked really good. Defense looks solid. Yeah, I think they are one of the more, if not the most complete team in the NFL right now. Number 2, I had Seattle. Yeah, we're able to take care of business. It's the same talking points I've had about them all year. Offense looks really good. JSN looks like a shoe-in for Offensive Player of the Year. Defense looks really good. Rada. Number 3, I have Jacksonville. Yeah, I mean, Lawrence looks like he's finally figuring it out in the NFL. ETN has finally beat the not washed allegations. Yeah, they look solid as well. Number 4, Broncos. Again, defense looks really good. Offense, question marks. Bo Nix, man. I don't really know what's going on there. Is he good? Is he not? Who knows? And then number 5, I do still have the Rams. They've had a couple of severe question mark games the past couple weeks with the Panthers and now the Falcons. But, I mean, I still think this is a good team. They just kind of need to not trip on their own feet, if that makes sense. But, yeah, I still think the defense is solid. Puka Nacua, what the word did I just say? Puka Nacua. The editor bleeped that one out. Puka Nacua apparently against man coverage kind of just doesn't do anything. That's an interesting development. He did have a touchdown and almost had like one of the craziest catches I've ever seen. But outside of that, it feels like he kind of just had been bullying defenses the past couple of weeks. Wasn't able to do that against the Panthers. Wasn't able to do that against the Falcons. If they can get him to have a Puka Nacua game, I'm just going to start saying Puka because I cannot say that last name. If they can have Puka make a Puka game,
Puka.
Yeah, they're going to be a lot better off.
Brock, here
that was
your
an awful
power ranking
stretch of a minute for me.
All right. Again, I same as Braden. I kind of based mine off of what would have been our power rankings last week. Seattle stays at number 1. They keep doing the job. I mean, you can't move them. Same with New England and Denver. They keep doing what they're doing. Actually ended up dropping the Rams out of my power rankings this week and moved Houston up to number 4. So right now, for those listening to audio only, Seahawks are number 1, Patriots number 2, Denver at number 3, and then I have Houston at 4, taking over that Rams spot. I mean, they've been playing winning football really right now. I know that we mentioned that their offense can be a little shaky sometimes, but they've been playing the best version of themselves right now. And then welcome back to the power rankings, probably for the first time in God knows how long. San Francisco is my number 5 team. I mean, why not? And shout out the Seahawks for being a team that I can rely on to be the number 1 team in my power rankings and not lose the following week.
Please lose next week. I had him at number 1. Brock, I'm at number 1. Dawson, please do this for me. Do the thing for me.
Don't
please.
put Patriots.
Wait, no. Crap. I had the Patriots at number 1. No.
Yeah, I was gonna say this.
I did it to myself. No. Oh.
Right. Yeah. I tried. I even asked you last night if you were still good with the way your power rankings were with the Rams. And you're like, yep. Just move some stuff around.
I don't. Okay, it didn't matter anyways. Okay. It didn't matter anyways. We're good. We're good.
Yeah, I'm gonna start with bottom 5 to 1. The Rams, they have to drop. I'm still really confident in them. I like their defense a lot. It's just Stafford. What was that game on Monday? You're the first 3.5 quarters. You were like horrendous. Like you legitimately have sold your MVP campaign so much so that now I am making graphics potentially for Drake May to potentially win the MVP. Like that is the 48 hours that we have been through as NFL fans. So Rams have to drop. Broncos, I moved them out last week because they lost to Jacksonville by a couple scores, but like they're still playing good. And maybe that's just my hate as a Chiefs fan for Denver, but they're 13-3. I can't keep them out any longer. I do have Jacksonville at number 3 though. I really like the way this team is playing. Their offense is really good right now, in spite of not having Travis Hunter. Granted, who knows how good Travis Hunter really is. It's still really early into his potential NFL career, but the offense is playing well. Defense is playing well. Jacksonville, I think, is a legit threat in the AFC as we speak. Seattle, I don't know why I really moved them down. I think it's just because right now I have more faith in New England to do something in the playoffs. It wasn't because of their game, because they beat the Panthers by 17. But I'm just that confident in the Patriots and Drake May being able to finally bring New England some success. First time in half a decade since Brady left them. But they're shaping up to be the 2 seed hosting the Chargers, which will be a lot of fun. All the playoff games potentially, if everything falls into place, is looking like a great slate of games. But those are my power rankings for week 17. One more week, fellas, of NFL regular season ball. Real quick, we'll go through like the 4 games that matter this weekend when it comes to seeding. Panthers Buccaneers is for the NFC South. That's this Saturday at 3:30, which is kind of weird, but I digress. The game for the 1 seed potentially, I think it is actually the game for the 1 seed.
It's the game for the 1 seed.
Okay, now I don't know why I said potentially. But Seattle on the road in San Francisco should be an unbelievable game. Sam Darnold playing his old team in San Fran should be a great one. Should be on everyone's calendar for 7:00 on Saturday. Other than that, when it comes to actual playoff seeding,
Ravens Steelers
is the only other one that really kind of matters. I mean, some of these other games are like a team could move up a spot or down a spot. It's not. There's only one game where a team they win and they're in, they lose they're out, and that's Ravens Steelers, which will be really good for Sunday Night Football. But that's pretty much it when it comes to like meaningful seeding games this upcoming weekend. So we will react to all those games next week after they happen, and hopefully Brock is in a happy mood next week this time.
They usually happen on it's on Monday usually, right? When
Yep.
they happen. Okay.
So
by the way, I just saw a tweet. I'm not gonna say what exactly, but there may be, it's not Mike Tomlin. But there's another team in that division that might be moving on from a coach here by the end of this week. Sounds like.
Are you about to do the Brian Windhorst?
I don't know. I just saw a tweet. I didn't look too deep to see if it was true. It's not a team that. It's not a. If I say any more, you'll know which team it is. It's not a team that's contending for a Super Bowl in the next couple of years.
So the Ravens are getting rid of Harbaugh. I'm just kidding.
I mean,
Honestly,
I think we had an episode earlier this year that I said that he needs to be gone. So
time out.
Honestly,
You could make
every
argument.
team in
Yes.
AFC North, you could make an argument their head coach should be gone.
Yep. Could not agree more. And I think that's like the only division you could say that for. Which is crazy, considering like how bad the NFC South is. Like,
hey, shout out Shadur Sanders celebrating a third and long rush that still resulted in a fourth down. I don't know if you guys saw that video. I thought it was pretty funny.
yeah.
Did he? Was that this week or last week? Where he celebrated a first down for so long they had to call a timeout, otherwise it would have been a delay of game.
I can't remember exactly.
It was
but, yeah,
very recently though. I know that.
But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think we might have to do a separate pot. Like we might have to do like a double recording. We'll have to be quicker, obviously, because we're at a minute 40, an hour 40 right now. But
We didn't do an episode last week, so this one can run a little bit longer.
But we might have to do one both like reacting and predicting playoffs, and then also doing like a. I think don't they call it Black Monday? I don't remember what they have like some nickname of like
Black Monday
of the turnover coaches, because there might be some not big ones, but like ones that have been needed for a while.
I mean, if we only talk about the games that actually like matter, we can probably sneak it all in.
Yeah,
we'll see.
We will at some point in the next few weeks be doing an award show.
Yep.
Of us handing out awards. We haven't decided the format. It's either going to be just we're going to copy and paste what the NFL usually does, which is MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, so on and so forth, or we might throw a few 5-on-5 awards in there. So we'll see. That one will be, I don't know if it probably won't be next week. It'll probably be in that gap week between the conference title week and the Super Bowl, just so we can have a nice episode for that week. But anything else you guys want to add to this episode as we kind of wrap up and look ahead to week 18?
I'm going to miss this, man. And I've been saying it all year, but these like sloppy games, we're going to in like April, May, when we're sitting here twiddling our thumbs trying to figure out what to talk about. We're going to miss these like 13-12 slobber knockers in the primetime slot.
Not so much like April, because April will have draft stuff to cover, and that'll be interesting, and there'll be trades.
Like
but
June.
May, I could not agree more. Yeah, June, like last year when we kept discussing Rodgers and the Steelers, like and the Bengals, like that got old.
Bengals.
That got old.
The Bengals,
real fast.
We talked about the Bengals so much we pretty much blacklisted them from this season. We don't even. We've talked about them like 6 times since the season started.
We
the other
have,
team. Didn't we blacklist another team? Oh, the Jets.
Well, I mean,
like
what
the
is there
Jets
to talk
and the
about?
Browns. Like,
The Browns.
We walked us in for like a week. For a week, we were like, we're not talking about them anymore. And then they went.
They beat the Packers.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh crap! Now we have to.
We got to talk about them now.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jonathan Gannon, for your services.
Brock, you're gonna look like an absolute fool if this man still has a job by the time we.
He's gonna get a contract extension. They're gonna give him a 4-year extension.
If they do that, I might as well just become a fan of a different team. Like I told you, if he's back next year, I'm not watching a game. I will be legit with that. I will not watch them play a single game.
Oh man. Well, to conclude this fantastic episode, we are going to be doing some award shows in the next few weeks. Week 18. Bowl games are still going on. CFP, I don't know if we're going to have this episode up either Wednesday or Thursday, but there's CFP games going to be going on
College
both days.
Still going on?
What?
Know. I thought college football ended first week of December.
Yeah.
I thought that
you didn't watch the Pop-Tart Bowl this past Saturday?
You mean the People's Champion? The Mormons.
Yes.
Shout out BYU. That was a fun game. Okay.
That was a fantastic game.
And actually no, because I can't go on any more tangents. Anyone that says that the Pop-Tarts Bowl should be in the college football playoff though is an idiot. Let it be its own thing. Done.
All right. To conclude this fantastic episode, signing off here for the Between the Hashes podcast, Brock Bierman, Braden Benkin, and myself, Dawson Livingston. We will see you guys next time.